Did your inbox just explode with monday.com notifications, or did you receive nothing at all while your colleague tried to reach you? Well, this video is for you. In the next couple of minutes, I'll show you the types of notifications, how to set them up, and I'll give you some best practice tips so you can make most out of monday.com. Are you ready? Let's get started. By the way, before we get started, you can download the full guide about notifications in the first description below. As you can see, it has a lot of pages about notifications, best practice tips. It gives you direction on how to do things with clear instructions on how to set notifications and how to turn them on and turn them off. And it's basically an extended version of what I'm teaching you in this video. So if you're interested, you can download it for free in the first link in the description. Let's get started. So there are 6 types of notifications and I'll go through them one by one. The first one is the inbox or the update feed, which you will see by the inbox icon at the top of your monday.com screen. They have a bell icon, which is next to it, which is also called the notification center. You have email, you have a desktop app with desktop notifications, you have Slack and Teams, if you guys use that in the company, and you have a mobile app in case you like to get notifications on your phone. I'll go into more detail for the inbox and the bell icon because those are most unique to Monday and need the most explanation. So with regards to the inbox, it looks something like this. And what you'll see is everything with regards to updates. You can, for example, see all updates in your account, only the updates you were mentioned in, and more. And what updates look like in Monday, I'll show you right now. So updates are just the things that you always see here when you see an item. So if you open it, here you have the updates. And when you tag someone on this board, such as Patrick, you say, "Hi Patrick," then you're basically creating an update and you're trying to communicate with this person. And based on his or her notification settings, you'll see it in the inbox. And that's basically what the inbox does. It kind of gets all the updates of your account and puts them in one place. And I have a few best practice tips here because I really like this tool. The first one is to look at the I was mentioned tab, because if you're looking at all updates, you'll see everything in the whole company, which is way too much. So I wouldn't recommend using it. I would look at I was mentioned, and I would train your team, and I would just make it a standard in your team that if you need someone, that you tag that person in the message. If that person is not relevant and doesn't need to see it, don't tag him or her. And by doing that, your communication stays most effective. Second tip, if you have any important updates, you can bookmark them by going into the 3 dots, clicking on bookmark, and then you'll see it in the bookmarked part of your inbox. Second tip. And the third tip, which I also like, is that you can permanently filter some boards from your update feed. So if you like to use the all update section, but you don't want to see all information, because, for example, you'd like to see all updates with regards to people in your team, but not from people outside of your team, then you can just go into the feed settings and like this, filter out all the boards that you don't like to get updates from. So that's everything with regards to the update feed. I'll show you some more about the settings to make this the best place to stay on top of your notifications. But first, let's dive into the notification bell, also known as the notification sender. And what you'll see here, and I also wrote this down, by default, you'll literally receive a notification for anything, which means a like, being assigned, being subscribed, a board is archived, like everything. If you don't change anything about the settings, this will be a big mess. Like there will be so many notifications, so many irrelevant ones. You'll be like, why would I even ever use this bell icon? And therefore I have some best practices. And the first one is to, make sure that you have relevant notifications. So you can do that by going into your profile and then clicking on my profile. Here you have a tab called notifications, and in that tab you'll see all the settings. And a little bit later in this video, I'll show you exactly the settings that I would recommend. So the second tip is that, which I really like, in the notification center, unlike with the update inbox, you can search through notifications. So maybe you ever have a notification for a specific project where you're like, I know what words were used, but I can't really find it. Then you can just search for the notification and find it relatively quickly. And you can also search for by person if you like to see that. So you can, for example, see all your notifications from your colleagues, Ali. So yeah, that's a great tip. And then the third one, which I also like, is that you can change the notification settings for a specific board. So maybe you want to turn it on for certain boards and turn it off for others. You can go through the three dots and then change the board notification settings, which will look something like this. And here you can decide what you'd like to see. However, this will then be affected to everyone on this board, so keep that in mind. Also for this, I'll show you some best practices later. So there's some other notifications, the desktop and mobile. I don't personally use them because I don't want to be bothered with too many notifications throughout my day because it's very distracting. But if you like it, or if you just need to be, on top of notifications for your team, then you can also turn desktop notifications on. You can just follow the steps that you see here. So go to my profile, go to notifications, and then at the bottom, you'll see a toggle that will ask you to enable or disable desktop notifications. Same thing is true with mobile. If you go into the mobile app, it looks something like this. And here you see the notification settings in the more section. And here you can decide, do you want to see what type of notifications you want to see? And obviously keep in mind that even though these notifications are the basics and will determine the notifications in general, if your phone's notification settings are not turned on correctly, you won't see anything. So if you're on iPhone, it looks something like this. Maybe I can zoom out a bit. Oh, that doesn't really work. Maybe like this. Also not. Never mind. And then you can, decide what the notifications should look like. As I said, I don't personally use them, but if you use them, this is how you would do it. Cool. So this is the first important thing. When you start with Monday as an admin, you should set the default notifications for your team so they don't get spammed instantly when they first sign up. You can do this by going into your profile and going into administration. Keep in mind, you need to be an admin. Then you go into customization and then into user notifications. And there you can decide what your standard notifications are. In my case, it's these. So I like to, as I said earlier in the video, I like that the team always tags each other if they need each other. If they don't tag them, they don't need to read it. That's like our standard. Could be different from your standard. So just turn on whatever you think is necessary. But I like these notification settings as a default for the email. Keep in mind, you cannot set the default notifications for the bell icon, which you need to do per employee. I'll show you that later. Actually, I'll show you that now, because this is a great thing. When someone joins Monday.com for the first time, they will get all the notifications. And the first thing they'll have in the first day is have 20 notifications in their mailbox saying you're assigned to this, you have an update from that, someone tagged you, you've been subscribed to a board, just way too much. And the first thing people do is turn off notifications. As a result, if you ever want to reach that person, they don't get the notifications they should get. Especially since they don't really know what it means since they've just started. So you need to guide them in the right direction. And this is how you would do it. So let's say you have a new colleague, you go to administration again, you go to users, and then you click on the name of the user. So in this case, click on Lotte, and then you see her notification settings. Well, actually, you first need to click on notifications on the left-hand side, and then you'll see this. And by default, everything is turned on. So if you click on this icon, you can click on select none, and then everything will be turned off. And actually, I have 2 recommendations here. If you like to use email as a standard, and I would actually recommend this for new people, then these are the notification settings I recommend. So it's when someone mentions you, and it's only email, and then these. Especially automations is important because if you work with automatic updates or notifications, you would like people to receive it. And people often turn this off because they don't really know what it means. So this is what I would turn on. I don't really like the daily highlights. If you like it, feel free to turn it on. And obviously feel free to tailor it to your needs and your organization. This is just how I like it. But I would recommend that you let new users use email if they don't know the bell icon, because they're used to opening email, but they're not really used to opening a bell icon in Monday or a notification center. So that's why I recommend email for new users like this. If you want to have the notification center as a default. Well, this one is turned on by default. And then I would say, well, automations, you would get it there, requests as well. And just these two, yeah, you can just turn them on by email. Same thing for this one. Yeah, it's very similar, but just a little bit different. And then I have another one. If you have a big fear of missing out, I would recommend turning on everything. So you get spammed with 40 notifications a day. I don't like it, but if you really want to stay on top of everything that's going on, you should do it. Obviously, this is kind of a joke. There's a lot of notifications that are irrelevant, even if you want to stay on top of everything. So I would never recommend this. But yeah, some people like it. And the crazy thing is, this is actually the default by Monday, and that's why people get spammed all the time. So I would recommend the email one. So yeah, feel free to pause the video and just do that for your team. Make sure that you do it for each and every individual, and they can obviously change it themselves afterwards if they would like to, but just good to push them in the right direction, especially with, for example, the automations. Like, they will just turn it off if they don't know. So I would recommend that you set it for them. Cool. Maybe some stuff about how I work. So to give some context on how I work and how I use Monday, I open the inbox daily. So this inbox, I just open it daily, and I'll go into I was mentioned. Well, this is a test environment, so it's all fake notifications. But I would look through them, I would read them, mark them as liked or comment, and then I would mark them as done. And then I'll just make sure that I have like an inbox 0 at the end of the day. So my whole team had the answers of me that they need, and I'm on top of everything I should be on top of. That's actually the only thing I look at. I also set this to show unread updates because, well, I don't really care what I already read, so I don't need it. And sometimes I use the bookmark section in case there's an important update I need to, save for later. But that's really it with regards to this stuff. And then what I do is, these are my notification settings. So I actually don't turn this one off. I don't want people to, don't want to receive an email when people tag me, because I open this update feed every day, which is also a task on my to-do list. Just, update, open the update section just to check if anything is important. And then I just mark these as checked, because I want to receive an email from those. I don't do it for assignments, for example. I don't care when people assign stuff to me, because then I would see it on my work section if there's really something important. So yeah, that's really how I work, from the my work section, from the inbox here, and from my email. And I never really use the notification bell, to be honest. And I don't really use Slack for those updates as well, because with Slack, if you click on them, they are red, and then there's not really a place where I can leave it for later. Whereas with Monday's notification center, with the updates feed, I really like that you can just mark it as red with the blue check mark, so I can just stay on top of everything. So that's how I work. I think there's one more important thing that you can change notification settings per board by going into a board, clicking on the 3 dots and click on notifications. And there you can see this one, which I've already shown earlier in the video. Keep in mind that the notification settings of your users will override the settings from this one. So yeah, if for example your team has turned off all notifications and this one says receive all, then your team will receive nothing. However, if this one is muted and your team has been set to receive all notifications, they won't receive anything either. So yeah, you need to think about that a bit. Usually I just keep it like this, and yeah, that's it. And then determine the notification settings from the notification settings center rather than on a board level. But it's obviously up to you. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you liked it and learned a lot. Don't forget to download the research for free. The full guide is really helpful and you can just refer to it later on. If you want to support the channel for free, just leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, just comment them in the comment section. I will try to help you. And if you really need personalized advice or a tailored workspace, you can always reach out to me. The description also shows my contact details. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.